Good morning. You're watching Virginia this morning right here on CBS 6. Sometimes the perfect job isn't just down the street, but it could be thousands of miles away. Would you consider relocating? Just recently spoke with a representative from a top staffing firm. Here's what she had to say about a growing trend.
The landscape has certainly changed in terms of employers and employees and where the work is occurring. We're joined today by Jillian Wagner with Robert Half. Jillian, I'm very excited to talk with you.
It's an interesting topic. It's one that's in motion, but new year, new city. People are asking that question for themselves. It's happening.
It really is. As we are on the job search, as we are considering career path changes, maybe heading in a new direction, whatever it is, as you're looking for work, typically you go in, you do a search, and you put your parameters for where that's going to be. Well, that's what's changing. This pandemic has given, I think, both employees and employers more confidence about work being able to occur pretty much anywhere.
That's true. We did a survey. We surveyed 1,000 employees and 1,000 HR managers to get both sides of the spectrum, as you're talking about. And we found that 51% of employees are willing to relocate if their company allows a permanent work from home remote option. So that's over half are saying, hey, I'll go somewhere else if you allow me to work from home. And I think that employees are really thinking about, where do they want to live? Do they want a change of scenery? I mean, I'm in my home right now. Robert Half is still allowing us the unconditional option to stay home. And a lot of employers are thinking, is this something that we're going to continue to do and allow employees to move other places? And it's still in motion and there's a lot to be worked out, but it's certainly on the minds of everyone. In the same survey, we found that 38% of employers are allowing a remote option permanently for their employees. So it's people are at home, they're working from home, and to your point, they're working from anywhere.
And Jillian, this really just dawned on me as you were sharing that bit of information too. You want to, as an employee, you may be in it certainly for the long haul. Your career path, you may be in the right spot, but this conversation about relocating is still top of mind because now you may have the option of being able to work in a different place for that same employer. What do we do? Let's start at the top. If you're maybe considering that scenario of staying with your current employer but are interested in relocating, what should we be doing?
We should be communicating with our managers saying, hey, I think that I'm going to relocate or I'm interested in relocating. How long are we going to be remote? Or is this something that's going to be permanent? I want to stay with you. I'm a loyal employee. I'm confident in my career and where it's taking me, but it just might not be taking me in this city. What are my options? And just really be open to talking about it, because there are things that come into play in the way of taxes, in the way of benefits, in the way of salary. And you want to make sure you understand all of that and that you're communicating with your managers about what your goals are and how they could be tied to a different place.
You raise some fantastic points in terms of being in a different location and the impacts that it can have, taxation, your salary, all of these things. This might seemingly be an uncomfortable conversation to have or to bring up, but as you're saying, communication is key and it's pretty important.
It is the biggest piece of it, is just to talk to your manager, figure out what they want. And I think for employers, they have to be open to having these conversations. It's going to happen. People are looking, I mean, it's on the minds of everyone. This survey showed so many people are thinking about relocating, and employers just have to be prepared to say, here's our plan for now, here's our plan for the future, here's what we're open to. It could be a case by case scenario, or it could be a blanket, this is what the company's going to do. I do think that we'll see more remote options available for people because it's a perk for the employer too. Companies are opening themselves up to literally a world of talent by allowing people to work from other places. People that are maybe in a different state have a good skill set that applies to their company, and they're opening themselves up to having those people help move the company towards its goals.
Have you seen, and has the team at Robert Half seen a difference then in what I would call compensation or salary? Is that something that has to be considered in this relocation process?
I We are seeing the topic come up more and more. I don't think we've landed anywhere yet. Again, this is still very much in motion, very much in flux. We did see that employees, 75% of the people that we surveyed are not willing to take a pay cut in order to relocate. So we know that employees don't want to change their compensation based upon changing their city. And I think it's something that they're still working out, something that's still in process for a lot of companies.
Jillian, do you think, are you saying that companies are going to start putting out maybe policies so there is an understanding? Because in this instance, it's almost seeming as though it's a case by case basis as you're starting these conversations. But I guess it's pretty early in this new world.
Yeah, I think companies are putting more and more out there. They're over communicating. Again, Robert Half, I'm at home. We still have the unconditional option to stay at home. And about monthly, we're putting out information to our employees about here's what our remote status is, here's where we're going with it. And I think you will start to see more and more conversation about it as companies land on this is how it's going to be for us. And I think they're still working it out and trying to understand what this new working landscape is and how it applies to each of us individually.
It really is an incredible new situation and a whole new avenue that we might not have considered so far. Great talking with you. Thank you for the insight.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Boy, a lot to consider there. We'll put a link to more information on WTVR.com/BTM.